स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिसिद्धान्त सरस्वती नामिने। श्रीवार्षभानवी देवी दयिताय कृपाब्धये कृष्ण संबंध विज्ञान दायिने प्रभवे नमः। माधुर्योज्वल प्रेमाढ्य श्रीरूपानुगभक्तिद श्रीगौरा करुणाशक्ति विग्रहाय नमोस्तुते। नमस्ते गौरवाणी श्रीमूर्तये दीनतारिणे रूपानुगा विरुद्धाप सिद्धान्तद्वान्तहारिणे नमो गौरकिशोराय साक्षात् वैराग्यमूर्तये विप्रलम्बारसाम्बोधे पादाम्बुजायते नमः। नमो भक्ति विनोदाय सच्चिदानन्दनामिने गौरशक्तिस्वरूपाय रूपानुगावरायते गौराविर्भावभूमेस्त्वं निर्देष्टा सज्जनप्रियः वैष्णवः सार्वभौम श्री जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नाम्ने गौरत्विषै नमः। पंचतत्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते। जयतां सुरतोर्पंगुर मामंद मतेर्गति मत्सर्वस्वापदाम्बोजो राधा मदन मोहनम् दिव्य बृंदारण्यकल्पद्रुमादः श्रीमद्रत्नागार सिंहासनस्थौ श्रीमद्राधा श्रीलगोविन्ददेवो पृष्ठालिभिः स्मरामि श्रीमान् रासरसारम्भि वंशीवटतटस्थितः कर्षं वेणु सुनैर्गोपीर्गोपीनाथः श्रियस्त्वनः तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। So this is the final chapter where Arjuna asked Krishna, "Why Krishna, I want to know the difference between sannyasa and tyaga." Then Krishna starts explaining that sannyasa means to kamyanam karmanam nyasam, giving up fruitive work, that is called sannyasa. And tyaga means to give up the results of karma phala tyaga, that is called tyaga. Of course, there are many opinions of different people. Some people say uh, uh, that यज्ञदान तपकर्म न त्यज्यम कार्यमेव तत् यज्ञोदान तपस्यैव पावनानि मनुष्यः. some people say that one has to give up work, and some people say no, it has to be you have to perform work. Tyagam doshavat ityekaha karma prahur manishinah. Some people say give up work, and some people say yajnadana tapa karma na tyajyam iti chapare. But Arjuna, listen to my conclusion. My conclusion is you don't give up work, give the attachment. So attachment is a problem. My opinion is this. All the activities should be performed. 6th verse. Etanyapi tat karmani sangam tektva phalani cha. The problem is not in the work. The problem is not in the objects of this world. The problem is not with wife, not money, not house, not children. The problem is with your attachment. Don't give up your wife. Don't give up your children. Don't give up your job. Don't give up your family. Give up your attachment. The problem is with the attachment. We ascribe the problem to the world. The world is designed by Krishna. So you don't have to give the world. You have to give the attachment to the world. The problem is attachment. Some people think karma is the cause of my bondage. Karma is not the cause of your bondage. The attachment to the karma and the results of karma, that is the cause of bondage. So identify the problem. The problem is attachment, which has to be given up. And maybe you have to do your work. How? Kartavyam, kartavyan iti me partha. Just for the sake of performing your duties. You perform your duties. Kartavyani iti. It is my duty. That is why nishchitam matam uttamam. This is the matam uttamam, the topmost opinion. This is my final opinion regarding this karma. Now, niyatastu sanyasaha. 7th verse. Karmano nopapadyate mohat tasya parityagas tamasaha parikirtitaha. Now, those who renounce duties and prescribed duties because of illusion, and that, oh, it's too troublesome, oh, I cannot do it. That kind of renunciation is called tamasa. Tamasa parikirtita. If one gives up prescribed duties because of illusion, such renunciation is said to be in mode of ignorance. Now, renunciation is also in 3 modes. So, somebody may give up activity like cooking and offering, and thinking that, oh, these things are too troublesome. So then that is very tamasic. Sometimes Prabhupada says a sannyasi may perform a marriage ceremony of his disciple in advertisement of Krishna consciousness. If one renounces the activities, it is to be understood that he is acting in mode of darkness. Then, passion. Dukkham ityeva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajet sakritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labhet.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, I have a question regarding text 7. So, Prabhuji, I heard in Brihad Bhagavatamrita that Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, am I audible?
Yes.
So, Prabhuji, I heard in Brihad Bhagavatamrita that if one, even if one is not able to perform his prescribed duties, but still engage in the Krishna's performing pure devotional service, that is okay. So it was a Shruti. If I remember that it was a one of the Shruti, one of the chapters. So
Yes.
and
Yes.
so Prabhuji, is
That
it
is true.
And I want to ask about myself personally, that I
Uh-huh.
found myself not eligible for one thing. So this is the reason that I'm not able to go for that. Like in the Dhruv Maharaj also, Dhruv Maharaj being very honest, he was saying that he was not able to do. Okay, okay, leave this point. Just this is Prabhuji. So is it okay?
For what?
So, I have to, I can do one responsibility, but I know that I will not be able to perform it nicely, and I am just getting, I'm scared to do it, so I'm not doing. So, is it okay not to perform that prescribed duty?
If you're 24 hours engaged in in Krishna consciousness, practicing pure devotional service, then it is okay.
If I,
Tavat karmani kurvita yavan najayate. What? Katha suruchi. Krishna katha. If you have developed ruchi in Krishna katha and practicing pure devotional service 24 hours a day, you don't have to do karma. त्यक्त्वा स्वधर्मान् चरणाम्बुजं हरेर् भजन अपक्वः. Bhajan apakvaha patet tato yadi. So, if you are given up, samashritaye padapallava plavam, mahatpadam punyesho murare. So, if you are completely surrendered and practicing 24 hours pure devotional service, then you don't have to perform karma. But are you in that stage? That you and your guru decide. I have nobody to comment.
so if I would you just attach the word trying for it. So,
Even you can try, but you're trying. We are all sadhana bhakti is trying only, na?
uh, yes,
Sadhana bhakti is practice, isn't it? Okay.
thank you.
Next, dukkham ityeva yat karma kaya klesha bhayat tyajet sa kritva rajasam tyagam naiva tyaga phalam labet. So one who gives up prescribed duty, thinking, oh, it's too troublesome. Oh, oh, it will be too much of discomfort to the body. Then that is rajasi, and actions that leads to elevation to renunciation. Such action never leads to elevation of renunciation. Next. Karyamityeva yat karma niyatam kriyate arjuna sangam tektva phalam chaiva satyagaha satviko mataha. So the tyaga renunciation is called sattvika. Which renunciation is sattvika? Karyam ityeva yat karma. I perform when one performs his prescribed duty only because it is ought to be performed, and renounce all the material association and all attachment to the fruit. His renunciation is said to be mode of goodness. This is perfect. Nadvesh, nadvesh, kushalam karma, kushalena anusajjate, tyagi sattva samavishto, medhavi chinna samshayaha. Medhavi chinna samshaya. The intelligent person, intelligent renouncer, situated in mode of goodness, neither is hateful of inauspicious work nor attached to auspicious work. He has no doubt about work. Medhavi chinna samshayaha. One who is intelligent, who is not very much disturbed by the modes of nature, a person in Krishna consciousness, he neither hates nor he is attached. Hates akushalam, inauspicious, and kushale, karma, anusajjate, becomes attached. That renouncer in mode of goodness is samavishtaha, is absorbed, medhavi, chinna samshaya. Next. Nahi dehabrita sakyam tektum karmanya seshatah yastu karma phalatyagi satyagi abhidiyate. Nahi deha brita sakyam tektum karmanyaseshataha yastu karma phalatyagi satyagi abhidiyate. See, it is indeed impossible for an embodied being to give up all activities. But he who renounces the fruit of all actions is called one who has fully renounced. So, Bhagavad Gita, third chapter also, when Arjuna argued, I want to give up work. Then Krishna told, Nahi kshanam jatu tishthatya karma krat karyate vashak karma sarva karma prakriti jay gunaihi. Arjuna, even if you want to give up work, you cannot, because a soul cannot be active. In spite of you trying to give up work, you just cannot. Nahi kshanam, even for a second, you cannot just stay without doing anything. Which is more difficult, to act or not to act? If I tell you whole day, don't do anything, that is more difficult than if you are given work whole day. Because it is the nature of the soul to be active, whether it is in the liberated state, the conditioned state. The soul is always active, it requires engagement. So, you cannot. Nahi dehamrita sakyam tektum karmanya aseshataha. Aseshataha, altogether, one cannot give up karma. So, yastu karma phalatyagi. So, what you can do is karma phalatyaga. Whatever actions you are doing, you get some reactions or phala that you can renounce. But to think that I can renounce work, that is foolishness. It's impossible to renounce work. Now, when somebody is working, you get three results. Anishtam, ishtam, mishtam, anishtam, ishtam, mishram cha, trividam karmana phalam. For one who is engaged in karma, he gets three kinds of phalas. Anishtam, undesirable. Ishtam, desirable. Mishram, mishram means mixed. Three kinds of results. Trividam karma phalam bhavati atyaginam pretya natu sannyasinam pachit. And this is for those who are atyaginam. Atyaginam means those who are not renounced. For those who are renounced, sannyasinam pachit pretya natu sannyasinam. Natu sannyasinam, for those who are renounced out of life, is those who are renounced the result of work. They have no reactions. The above three reactions are not for them. It is for those who are attached. Let's read the purport to this verse.
Person in Krishna consciousness acting in knowledge of his relationship with Krishna is always liberated. Therefore, he does not have to enjoy or suffer the results of his acts after death.
So, this is the speciality of a person in Krishna consciousness. In a person active in knowledge with Krishna, always liberated. Therefore, he does not have to enjoy, suffer the results of his actions. The incorrect renunciation. For those who are not renounced in the way described by me, atyaginam, after death pretya, there are three types of results. Suffering in the form of hell, anishtam. Happiness in the form of swarga, ishtam. Mixture. Happiness and suffering in the form of human mishram. This is what happens. But for a person who is renounced, they attain liberation. Next, 13th verse. Panchaitani mahabaho karanani nibodhame sankhe kritante proktani siddhaye sarvakarmanam. Now, Krishna speaks about Vedanta Sutras now, because for any action to be accomplished, you need to have 5 reasons. So the question arises, why do those who perform actions not attain results? See, 10 people do the same action, but they don't get the same result. Sometimes there will be a student who is very intelligent and very hardworking too, but still the student may not get that kind of marks, results. So a person who may not be very intelligent, but not even studied properly, but she may get more marks, results. Why is it so? Then for that, Krishna says that all the 5 principles have to get together, then only the results are accomplished. So 5 verses Krishna gives the philosophy behind karma. This happens, that means in spite of all the hard work, results don't come. Sometimes without hard work, results come. Because a person renounces the concept of himself being the doer and has conviction that the Supreme Lord is the main doer. So now, because of those who are in the renounced order, means renounced order means in the sense they have understood the theory of karma. For them, there is no question of results because they know everything is in the hands of Krishna. Among the 5 factors necessary for accomplishing a work, most important is Daiva. Nibodha, he says, listen from me, the 5 causes of accomplishment, Siddhaye. Is described in the Sankhya. The Sankhya means the knowledge which describes the philosophy behind karma. The Vedanta Sutra, it actually concludes that the Lord is Antaryami, is there in everybody's heart. And it is he who actually gives the result of karma. And he's sitting in the heart, and then he is a karma phala pradata. So until Krishna grants the results would not manifest. So please read the purport.
A question may be raised that since any activity performed must have some reaction, how is it that the person in Krishna consciousness does not suffer or enjoy the reactions of work? The Lord is citing Vedanta philosophy to show how this is possible. He says that there are 5 causes for all activities, and for success in all activity, one should consider these 5 causes. Sankhya means the stock of knowledge, and Vedanta is the final stock of knowledge accepted by all leading acharyas. Even Shankara accepts Vedanta Sutra as such. Therefore, such authority should be consulted. The ultimate control is invested in the Super Soul, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishtaha. He is engaging everyone in certain activities by reminding him of his past actions, and Krishna conscious acts done under his direction from within yield no reaction, either in this life or in the life after death.
Now, yeah.
Prabhuji, what are these 5 causes of all the activities that we do?
The next verse talks about it. 14. Number 1. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pratak vidam vividascha pratak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. Daiva. Five things which actually makes the actions possible. So what are the 5 things? Let us see what these 5 things are. First one, adhishtanam. Adhishtanam means what? Body. Means adhishta, that which is ruled by the jiva. The living entity is in the body and the living entity is ruling the body. So body is required for doing any action. So adhishthana means body. Second, karta, that is the conditioned soul. Without the soul, no way that you can act. So the conditioned consciousness, it is karta, conditioned soul. Next, karanam, adhishtanam tata karta. Means the senses, like the subtle senses which we have, senses, mental faculties, the senses. Pritak vidam means that not one kind of sense, you have different kinds of senses. Then pritak cheshta, different functions of various types of prana. Like all the actions are possible because of prana. This is a pritak cheshta. Like those who are not having prana, prana means not so vibrant. Even though there's everything, they don't feel like doing things. But if your prana is very nice, then you are very active. Like children, pranamaya kosha is very active for them. And ultimately, daivam. Daivam means Supreme Lord. Is the 5th element of accomplishing actions. So among the causes of action, Antaryami, the Supreme Lord, is the chief. That is, Daiva is the chief. The body, the senses, the pranas, and the jiva are only secondary causes. The Lord is ultimately the primary cause. So, when you know Krishna is the ultimate cause of you giving results, when you work hard and don't get results, it is Krishna who has not given the results. So, you'll be happy. Okay, Krishna has not given for my benefit. And when you get the results, you'll not be proud because you know it is Krishna who has given the results, not you. It is not because of your hard work you got the result. It is Krishna as Antaryami, he has blessed you with the result. So when you are successful, you are not having the pride of being successful. At the same time, on the other hand, when you're not successful, you'll not be depressed because it is Krishna who is not given the success. Please read the purport.
The word adhishthanam refers to body. The soul within the body is acting to bring about the results of activity and is therefore known as karta, the doer. That the soul is a knower and the doer is stated in the Shruti. Isha hi drushta shrishta. Prashan Upanishad 4.9. It is also confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra by the word Gyota Eva 2.3.18 and Karta Shastra arthavatvat. The instruments of action are the senses, and by the senses, the soul acts in various ways. For each and every action, there is a different endeavor, but all one's activities depend on the will of the supersoul, who is seated within the heart as a friend. The Supreme Lord is the supercause. Under these circumstances, he who is acting in Krishna consciousness under the direction of the supersoul situated within the heart is naturally not bound by any activity. Those in complete Krishna consciousness are not ultimately responsible for their actions. Everything is dependent on the supreme will, the super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, those in complete Krishna consciousness are not ultimately responsible. So does it mean like we are reading that there are 5 elements which are causing. So, but here it is written, those who are in complete Krishna consciousness are not ultimately responsible. Means Krishna is responsible. But so what about non-devotees? But I have heard in Canto 1, they were saying that for devotees and non-devotees, everything is because of Krishna's will.
Ultimately, everything is Krishna's will, but one is direct, other is indirect. Like, for example, a king feeds everyone. He feeds the citizen also. He feeds his son also. A 5-year-old boy, his king's son, that is the prince, but he feeds the country or the citizens through the ministers. When it comes to his own son, he would not feed to the ministers, he would do personally. So one is direct, other is indirect. For a devotee, Krishna has direct control. For a person who is totally surrendered, yogakshevam mahamyam. For a person who is not completely surrendered, Krishna deals to material energy. Got it?
Yes, Prabhuji, but those in complete Krishna consciousness are not ultimately responsible for their actions. So Prabhupada is writing specially, why Prabhupada is writing specially for devotees here?
Because for the person who is totally surrendered to Krishna, he has no other ulterior motive, he is directly inspired by Krishna.
Thank you.
Okay. Totally. The Prabhupada is talking about a stage. When he says devotee, that doesn't mean the sadhakas, those who have attained prema. Okay.
Okay.
Prabhuji, as you
Yeah.
said, the ultimate cause is the super soul. So, whenever we do something, let's say whether it's a service or any material work, and a lot of time we commit mistakes or we may do blunder in service. So, is it also by Krishna's will?
It is according to the will of Krishna ultimately, but actually it is your karma. So when you say will, it should be understood that Krishna is Upadrashta Anumanta. He is only Anumanta. He only sanctions. But sanction comes when there is application, isn't it? Without application, sanction, how does it come? Your application is karma, your prarabdha karma. So because your prarabdha, Krishna sanctions it and that manifests. Whether good or bad. Accident happens, Okay, somebody went to an accident. So you may say it is will of Krishna. How is it will of Krishna? It is because in your karma, the accident is supposed to happen in this way. So Krishna just blessed it, that's all. It is not that Krishna had some hatred for you, that is why he made the accident possible. Getting the point?
Yes, Guru.
Prabhuji, one thing like we read about the Parikshit Maharaj, and ultimately we come to know that Parikshit Maharaj is a born, he's a born devotee, he is eternal devotee. So, and the same that whatever happened, he picked up the dead snake, and whatever he did, it was totally Krishna's plan and Krishna's will. Second point, that
Yeah.
we read about Vena, King Vena, and Ang Maharaj. So in that case also, Prabhuji, that Ang Maharaj, Vena was born because of, it was Krishna's will, because Krishna wanted Ang Maharaj to renounce everything. So now my question is like, it I'm at the level of sadhaka, but they are a devotees. So is it like that Krishna make totally 100% interfering in devotees' life like this? Or what about
Krishna is free. Abhigna Swarat. He can do anything. He can interfere with anybody, but generally he doesn't do. But with devotees, he interferes because he has to do a pastime, then he interferes.
when
Uh,
he has to?
The pastime, so pastimes he has to do, then he interferes. That's called pastime, isn't it? Now, Parikshit Maharaj, Bhagavat has to appear. How will it appear? Until as Parikshit Maharaj goes and puts the neck around the neck of the Shringi Rishi, Shamik Rishi. So it was by the will of Krishna. So the will of Krishna can manifest any time according to the Ira Shakti and Icha Shakti of the Lord. And Krishna also doesn't have control over that. Separate subject matter there. You cannot apply it to everywhere. Wherever Acharya is told, it is by the will of the Lord. That is only has to be Acharya will of the Lord. It is not that you go and slap someone and say, the will of the Lord. It will be chaos, isn't it? You go and put a dead snake on somebody sitting and chanting. It's the will of Krishna. No, that is the will of the Krishna. It is your will. Getting the point?
Yes, Prabhuji, but like suppose I'm just performing some devotional service, and suppose I committed one mistake. So as Prabhu was asking, so it was like my fault because I'm still acting under the three modes of material nature. So
Yeah.
I am conditioned soul. So I'm
Yeah.
committing mistake.
Yeah.
So it was, and the thing has happened. So will I say that it was not Krishna's will? Because actually I want to ask, like, something bad happened to me, but later on, or just after some time, we realized that it was mercy in disguise. So it was Krishna's will and it was mercy for me. And Prabhupada also says that whenever there is bad happens to a devotee always thinks that it was good for me, for my spiritual life. So
That is, yes, that you have to consider. Because something bad has happened, more bad should have happened, but by the mercy of Krishna, that much bad did not happen. So in this way, this is the way you express your Krishna consciousness. This is the way you express your devotion. This is the way you express your surrender. But that mistake, what you have done, or the bad which has happened, that cannot be compared with that of Parikshit Maharaj. Understand that.
course, yes. But it was good for me, and that if I say that it was Krishna's
That
plan for me, is it okay?
it is your sadhana and it is your expression of bhakti. But that doesn't mean that the whatever happens can be compared to that of Parikshit Maharaj. Parikshit Maharaj was really the will of the Lord. He wanted that to happen. Otherwise, Bhagavatam would have not come. Got it?
Yes, Prabhuji. But one thing is coming, like whatever happens. Okay, okay. Uh, I will ask later, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Okay. Next. Shariravan manoviryat
Hare Krishna,
karma
Prabhuji.
Ah,
I'm sorry. Can I ask two questions
yes.
regarding the shloka that we have just covered? First thing,
Yeah.
Prabhuji, it's for devotees, for the practicing devotees. Somehow or other, they understand that it is by the will of Krishna, something has not happened. And even if whatever efforts I'm putting, it's just because of um, his will, or he has given me the strength and the power to endeavor for anything, whatever I want.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
for the neophytes and for the general public, for the neophytes, I
Mhm.
would say like my kids and all. So they do not understand. They understand that I have worked so hard. So what is the, what is the way, I can say roundabout way, to make them understand that it is only by Krishna that he or she can put in all the things, efforts and everything for doing any task. So what is the easiest or simplest way to make them understand?
Okay, first let me say that everything cannot be understood by everyone. To understand something, there should be some qualification. Number one. So, certain things should not be explained uh, uh, to a person who is not qualified to understand. Now, you have to make them qualified to understand, then only you can explain. So, that is where the preachers and even the parents, even the husband or the wife who wants to preach the family make a big mistake. They think that I have understood and I just cannot understand why they cannot understand. So I will explain everything to everyone. No, they should be qualified. Like somebody has done PhD in mathematics and he comes and sees 8th standard student and he wants to explain what he has learned, the wonderful things, all the theorems in PhD. Is it possible? It is not possible. So for that PhD person to make what he has understood to explain to 8th standard student, two things has to happen. One is bring them to a certain level of qualification and then simplify what you've understood so that they can understand. Both has to be there. So both has to be there. It is not that how can I make it simplify and then make them understand. That is one aspect that definitely has to be done. At the same time, bring them to the level of understanding, or at least bring them to the level of having a desire to understand, if not qualified to understand. Desire. Very unfortunate is that many people don't have desire. So how to get the desire to hear these philosophical points which are very deep, especially children and family members. Then there is a different way for children. You engage them in service of sadhu or service of Krishna, indirectly or directly, very tactfully. Shushrusho Shaddadhanasya Vasudev Kataruchi. So by active service to the movement, Srila Prabhupada, they get the Sukriti by which they can have the desire to understand. Then you can make them understand. Otherwise, if they don't have the Sukriti to understand, they will come in offense towards you and the subject what you're going to speak. What is this? This is all nonsense. My mother is very boring. Why she's always talking about like this? So both has to be done. Simplify things at the same time, bring them to the level to have at least to have a desire to understand. So the desire is very important. If they don't have any desire, it's very difficult to understand. So it requires a lot of tact and also patience to bring a person to this level to accept what you say and understand what you say and inquire about it. Generally, an intelligent preacher, intelligent leader, mother, father, friend, or a guru, you very tactfully bring them to the point of, by speaking different things here and there, bring them to the point of inquiry. Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Once you inquire, then you have the whole Bhagavad Gita to explain to them. Bring them to the point of inquiry, especially children. Those who are growing up, 13, 14, 15, above. They are neither children nor youth, nor adults. So they have to develop these subtle faculties of inquiry. Okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much that by creating the Sukriti, after getting the Sukriti by serving the devotees like Prabhupada, in the small ways, they will get the Sukriti and then they will have the desire. And this is very nicely and new thing that I came to know today. And the second thing, probably we all know that whatever we get, it's by karmas, right? Generally, in the life of devotees, Krishna interferes, but not just a second. But in the life of non-devotees, Krishna does not personally interfere, right? Ubrishta Anumanta, he acts like that. So what I need to ask you, that in these 5 factors to get anything accomplished, there is no karmic reactions. Like ऐसे बोलते हैं ना कि कर्म में होगा तो मिलेगा, destiny में होगा तो मिलेगा, but it's not nowhere there. So how to understand this? Where does the destiny come? Or the supreme will is the destiny only? How to understand?
No, destiny is created by your karma. Whatever is in your prarabdha, that is what you're going to get. And when you're going to get, that is also decided. So, it is the will of the Lord which ultimately prevails. But the Lord will not interfere into your karma. He will not interfere. So ultimately, destiny. Of course, you should understand the word destiny properly. It is not that everything is 100% decided. Something are 100%, something are not. Something will be changed. There will be choice. Nature. You are born in a particular nature. You live whole life according to a particular nature. But because of association of sadhus and association of Bhagavad Gita, when they read the Bhagavad Gita and associate with devotees, read the scriptures, then they influence the modes of nature that reduces. So their swabhava changes. Of course, it takes a lot of time. Of course, for some people, it may just take one day also. But changes by association. It is not that destiny is just, this is how it will be, that's all. No. Most of the cases, there will be choices. Okay?
Okay. Mataji?
Yeah,
Okay,
thank you,
let's go to,
Prabhuji.
yeah. 15th verse. Shariravan mano biryat karma prarabdhade naraha nyayam va viparitam tam va viparitam va panchaite tasya hetava. Whatever right or wrong action a man performs by body, mind, and speech is caused by these factors. Tatrevam sadikartaram atmanam kevamritam atmanam kevalam tuyaha pasyattakrita buddhitvan nasa pasyatturmatihi. Tatrivam sati kartaram atmanam kevalam tu yaha. One who thinks that I am the only doer, I have done, I have worked hard, so I got it. Pashyat takrita buddhitvam na pashyat jati durmani. So those who thinks himself as I am the own doer, without considering the other five principles which are mentioned in the previous verse, he is considered not only very unintelligent, is certainly not very intelligent and cannot see things as they are. Na sa pashyati durmatihi. Read the purport.
Mitra Mataji?
Yes, Mataji. A foolish person cannot understand that Supersoul is sitting as a friend within the conducting his action, although the material causes are the place, the worker, the endeavor, and the senses. The final cause is the Supreme, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, one should see not only the four material causes, but the supreme efficient cause as well. One who does not see the supreme think himself to be the doer.
Yeah. Yasya nāṅkrito bhāvo buddhiryasya nilipyate attvapi sa imam lokan nahanti na nibhadyate. Yasya nahaṅkrito bhava buddhir yasya na lipyate. One who is not motivated by false ego, nahaṅkrita, whose intelligence is not entangled, na lipyate. Though he kills men in this world, does not kill, nor is bound by the actions. Mhm. Nayam hanti na hanyate. Nayam hanti na hanyate. Neither it can be killed, the soul can be killed, nor it kills. So for a person who has understood that he has not this body or soul, for him there is no question of seeing, going and seeing. Nayam hanti na hanyate. For a person who has liberated, neither he can kill, neither he kills nor is killed. So same thing here. Na hanti na nibhadyate, nibhadyate. But for one who is in false ego, then all problem comes. The problem is false ego. So Krishna is telling Arjuna, Arjuna, desire not to fight is coming from false ego. He thought, I am the doer. I am the person who do, I am the person who doesn't do. So I will not do. So who are you to decide whether to do or not decide? Krishna decides. Krishna inspires. Just accept it. That's all. Next. Yasya naham krito bhavo oh, next. Jnanam geyam parijñāta trividha karma chodana karanam karma kat karanam karma kartati trividaha karma sangraha.
Hare Krishna.
Knowledge, yeah.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, I'm reading, but somehow I'm not able to understand. I please help. I please request you to please help. Suppose I have to take one decision of my life, that how these five factors are affecting that decision I am taking. If I do that, and if I'm not doing it after it, still I'm reading, but I'm not able to imbibe that. I understand that as in the last purport I'm reading, in this was the Lord informs Arjuna that the desire not to fight arises from the false ego, and Arjuna thought himself to be the doer of action, but he did not consider the supreme sanction within and without. So,
Yeah.
if one does not know that a super sanction is there, why should he act? So, Prabhuji, suppose any situation comes like, and I have to make a decision. So, in that decision, how I apply? If you can please help with any part, example.
Take help. Take help. It is
Take
said by Chanakya, you should not take decisions when you're alone, when you are sick, when you are in distress. And especially, you should not take decisions when you're alone.
When
That
you
is
are
why that is why you have got these devotee care leaders. You have the temple presidents, you have preachers, senior Grasta council. All these things are there for what? For this only. Got it?
yes, Ruchi, thank you. No, I just wanted to ask, okay, this is okay, that okay, I can take the help, but how to, okay, if I do this as you are suggesting, then I can understand that, yes, but if I have to take some decision and I know that I can take the decision, so how I practically imply that, how can I practically see, if you can please help me to understand with an example, that how all five factors are coming in that Krishna sanctioning is there, and because practically I'm making that decision. I know I can make the decision. I can say yes.
You make the decision. Suppose, for example, you want to decide on a particular thing. You are trying to make a decision for past maybe 6 months. Why you are not able to make 6 months back? There may be 100 reasons behind it. The main reason is Krishna has not sanctioned that you will take the decision then. Krishna sanctions this. No, today you will decide like that. So until now there is Daiva Yoga, Daivam. That is among all the five, Daiva is more important. Decision was pending for 6 months. Only why you did decision today? Because your prayers, your prarabdha, all these things will come together, and then okay, this center or this will be done by this person. Bhakti śāstrī will be coordinated by Hari Sevini Mataji. It could have been 5 years back also. Why happened now only? Because the time Krishna wished. Got it?
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. ज्ञानं ज्ञेयं परिज्ञाता त्रिविधा कर्म चोदना करणं कर्म कर्तेति त्रिविधा कर्म संग्रह. Jnanam means knowledge. Jnaya means object of knowledge. And Parigyata, the knower of the three factors. Knowledge, object of knowledge, knower, these three factors that motivate action. Now, for any action to happen, you require knowledge. And you require a knower. And to have knowledge of means you're having knowledge of some object. So three things. Knowledge, object of knowledge, and knower. Three factors motivate action because karma and jnana are connected with each other. For example, you go to a kitchen. When will you act? Tell me. When you know. Without knowledge, actions are not possible. So after talking about so much about actions, now he talks about knowledge. The three aspects of knowledge: the knowledge, the knower, object of knowledge. Please read the purport.
There are three kinds of impetus for daily work: knowledge, the object of knowledge, and the knower. The instruments of work, the work itself, and the worker are called the constituents of work. Any work done by any human being has these elements. Before one acts, there is some impetus, which is called inspiration. Any solution arrived at before work is actualized is a subtle form of work. Then work takes the form of action. First, one has to undergo the psychological processes of thinking, feeling, and willing, and that is called impetus. The inspiration to work is the same if it comes from the scripture or from the instruction of the spiritual master. When the inspiration is there and the worker is there, then actual activity takes place by the help of the senses, including the mind, which is the center of all the senses. The sum total of all the constituents of an activity are called the accumulation of work.
Okay. '18th, 19th. Jnanam karma cha karta cha trividha guna vedata prochet guna sankhyane yathavat shrunutanyapi. So now according to the three modes of nature, jnanam, karma, karta, trividha guna vedataha. According to three modes of knowledge, three things are there. Three kinds of knowledge, three kinds of actions, three kinds of person who acts. Now hear from me. Because in the 14th chapter, the division of modes of nature is described. Same thing. Also 17th chapter also talks about different modes, worship in different modes. Now here, knowledge, the worker, and the work itself is described in three different modes. So, I'll just read the verse and you go on reading a translation of the next 9 verses. Okay. Sarvabhuteshu yenaikam bhavam avyayam aikshate avibhaktam vibhakteshu tadjnanam vidhi satvikam. So first knowledge in goodness. Read the translation.
Vivek Prabhuji, would you please read?
Nobody's there, read.
Rishabh Prabhuji, please read.
That knowledge by which one undivided spiritual nature is seen in all living entities though they are divided into innumerable forms. You should understand to be in the mood of goodness.
पृथक्त्वेन तु यज्ञानं नानाभावं पृथक्विदान् वेत्ति सर्वभूतेषु तज्ज्ञानं विद्धि राजसम्. So read the translation as well as purport.
Vivek Prabhu, would you like to read? Sorry, we are not able to hear you. Vinita Mataji, would you like to read?
Yes, Mataji.
21. X21.
Translation: that knowledge by which one says that in every different body there is a different type of living entity you should understand to be in the mode of passion. Purport: the concept that the material body is the living entity and that with the destruction of the body the consciousness is also destroyed is called knowledge in the mode of passion. According to the knowledge, bodies differ from one another because of development of different types of consciousness. Otherwise, there is no separate soul which manifests consciousness. The body is itself the soul, and there is no separate soul beyond the body. According to such knowledge, consciousness is temporary, or else there are no individual souls, but there is all pervading soul, which is full of knowledge, and this body is a manifestation of temporary ignorance, or beyond this body there is no special individual or a supreme soul. All such conceptions are considered product of the mode of passion. Hare Krishna.
So the mode of passion, knowledge in mode of passion, thinks that the person accepts there's a different jiva, assume successive forms. Means now you have a man body, then you go to a body of a dog, and there you have a different jiva. Now there is no question of transmigration. Even if there is a transmigration, but ultimately the soul has no eternal existence. These are the different philosophies which are coming from Buddhistic ideas, the Jains, the Mayavadis. And from there, these Charavaks, all these things come. The Nyaya philosophy, all these things come. It is all knowledge based on passion. I don't want to get into this philosophy, we'll become totally confused. So let us go to the verse, next verse. Those who are interested in philosophical things, Nyaya, Vaisheshika, they're there in the recordings, you can hear from there. Yattu Krishnavad ekasmin karye saktam mahetukam attavartavad alpam cha tattamasam udavritam. Atatvarthavat. Read the translation and purport, both.
And that knowledge by which one is attached to one kind of work and one kind of work as the all in all without knowledge of the truth and which is very meager is said to be in the mode of darkness. Purport. The knowledge of a common man is always in the mode of darkness or ignorance because every living entity in conditioned life is born into the mode of ignorance. One who does not develop knowledge through the authorities or spiritual injunctions has knowledge that is limited to the body. He is not concerned about acting in terms of directions of scripture. For him, God is money and knowledge means the satisfaction of bodily demands. Such knowledge has no connection with the absolute truth. It is more or less like the knowledge of the ordinary animals, the knowledge of eating, sleeping, defending, and mating. Such knowledge is described here as the product of mode of darkness. In other words, knowledge concerning the spirit soul beyond this body is called knowledge in the mode of goodness. Knowledge producing many theories and doctrine by dint of mundane logic and mental speculation is the product of mode of passion. And knowledge concerned only with keeping the body comfortable is said to be in the mode of ignorance.
Summarizing knowledge, you have to understand knowledge regarding soul is goodness. Knowledge regarding soul means just to understand the soul is distinct from the body. That's all. Knowledge in mode of passion means to understand the soul is temporary or some mental functions. The mental functions are called soul. This is mode of passion. And knowledge in mode of ignorance means earn money, enjoy. Earn money, enjoy. Eat, sleep, mate, defend, that's all. That is mostly going on now. Okay. 23rd. Niyatam sangarahitam ragadveshatah kritam apala presuna karma yattat sattvikamuchyate. Here is the translation.
Translation: that action which is regulated and which is performed without attachment, without love or hatred, and without desire for fruitive results is said to be in the mode of goodness.
Next words. Yatto kame suna karma sahankarena va punaha kriyate bahulayasam tadrajasam mudasatam. Read the translation.
But action performed with great effort by one seeking to gratify his desires and enacted from a sense of false ego is called action in the mode of passion.
Anubandam shayam himsam anapekshaya cha paurusham mohat arabhyate karma yattat tamasamuchyate. Read the translation.
That action performed in illusion in disregard of scriptural injunctions and without concern for future bondage or for violence or distress caused to others is said to be in the mode of ignorance.
Now, karta, the performer of action. Mukta sango vadi tritin utsahasam samanvita siddhi asiddhayor nirvikaraha karta sattvika uchyate. Read translation.
One who performs his duty without association with the modes of material nature, without false ego, with determination and enthusiasm, and without wavering in success or failure, is said to be a worker in the mode of goodness.
Now, passion. Ragi karma phala prepsur lubdho himsatmako suchi harsha shokanvita karta rajasaha parikirtitaha.
Kanchanvan Mataji.
The worker who is attached to work and the fruits of work, desiring to enjoy those fruits, and who is greedy, always envious, impure, and moved by joy and sorrow, ought to be in the mode of passion.
Ayuktaha prakrita stabdha shatho shatho naishito kolasaha vishadi dirgha सूत्री च कर्ता तामस उच्यते.
And that worker who is always engaged in work against injustice, or the flip side, who is materialistic, obstinate, cheating, and expert in insulting others, who is lazy, always moral, and procrastinating. Procrastinating is a worker in the mode of ignorance.
Now, after talking about knowledge and the person who is doing the person who is acting in three modes. Now, Krishna talks about intelligence and determination in three modes. Intelligence and determination in three modes. बुद्धेर्भेदं धृतिश्चैव गुणतस्त्रिविधं शृणु प्रोच्चयमानम् अशेषेण पृथक्त्वेन धनञ्जय. Two things, buddhi and dhriti. Buddhi means intelligence or understanding. Dhriti means determination. Let's see. प्रवृत्तिं च निवृत्तिं च कार्ये भयाभये बन्धं मोक्षं च या वेत्ति बुद्धि सा पार्थ सात्विकी. Read the translation.
O son of Pritha, that understanding by which one knows what ought to be done and what ought not to be done, what is to be feared and what is not to be feared, what is binding and what is liberating, is in the mode of goodness.
यया धर्मम् अधर्मं च कार्यं चाकार्यमेव च आयत्थात्वात् प्रजानाति बुद्धिः स पार्थ राजसी. Read.
That understanding which cannot distinguish between the religious way of the life and the irreligious, between actions that should be done and the actions that should not be done. That imperfect understanding or son of power is that which is in the mode of passion.
No, son of Partha, that understanding which cannot distinction between religion, between action that should be done and action that should not, is known as mode of passion. Next, adharmam dharmam mitya iti va itiya manyate tavasavrita sarvarthan niparitamscha buddhis saparthatamasi. Read the translation.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Translation. Okay. That understanding which considers irreligion to be religion and religion to be irreligion under the spell of illusion and darkness and strives always in the wrong direction, O Parth, is in the mode of ignorance.
धृत्यायया धारयते मनः प्राणेन्द्रियक्रिया योगेन व्यभिचारिण्या धृतिः स पार्थ सात्विकी. Read the translation.
Synthesis unbreakable, which is sustained with steady abstinence by yoga practice, and God controls the mind and act of it is in the mode of
Next. यया तो धर्म कामार्थान् धृत्या धारयते अर्जुन प्रसंगेन फलाकांक्षी धृतिः स पार्थ राजसी.
But that determination by which one holds fast to fruitive results in religion, economic development, and sense gratification is of the nature of passion, O Arjuna.
Next. यया स्वप्नं भयं शोकं निषादं मदमेव च na vimuchanti durmedha triti sabarthatamasi.
That determination, which cannot go beyond dreaming, fearfulness, lamentation, modestness, and illusion, such unintelligent determination is in the mode of trust.
Next. Next. Now Krishna talks about sukha, happiness. Sukham tu idanim trividham shunu me bharatarshava abhyasadramate yatra dukhantam nigacchati. Now, Arjuna, please hear from me about the three kinds of happiness the conditioned soul enjoys. Sometimes, by which he sometimes comes to the end of all distress. Yattadagre visham eva pariname mrutopamam tatsukam satvikam proktam atma buddhi prasadajam. Is the translation.
Rishamrita Prabhuji, please, can you please read?
What is
37.
verse number?
37, 37.
27.
37. Okay, I
37.
just read. You please read next. That which in the beginning may be just like poison, but at the end is just like nectar, and which awakens one to self-realization, is said to be happiness in the mode of goodness.
Very good. Vishayendriya samyogat yattadagre mrutopamam pariname visham eva tatsukam rajasam smritam.
That happiness which is derived from contact of the senses with their objects and which appears like nectar at first but poison at the end is said to be of the nature of passion.
Yadagre chanubande cha sukam mohanamatmanaha nidralasya pramadottam tattamasamudarutam.
And that happiness which is bind to self-realization, which is delusion from beginning to end, and which arises from sleep, laziness, and illusion, is said to be of the nature of ignorance.
So, Arjuna, listen. Natadasti prativyam va divi deveshu apna sattam prakritirjer muktam yadevi syatri gunai. Nobody in this world, whether it is in the earth or in the heavenly planet, who is freed from the three modes of material nature. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishyam, Shudranam, cha parantapa karmani pravibhaktani svabhava prabhavair gunehi. All the four Varanas are divided according to the qualities born by the modes of nature. Now, here to the qualities of the Brahmanas. Samodama tapas saucham shantirarja evacha jnana vijnanam astikyam brahma karma svabhavajam. Please read the translation.
Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work.
Shauryam tejo dhritikdakshyam yuddhe chapyapalaya apalayam nayanam Danam Ishvara Bhavascha Kshatra Karma Sabhavajam.
Kanchiman Mataji, please read next 5 continuously.
Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the natural qualities of work for the Kshatriyas.
Next. Krishi Goraksha Vanijam Vaishya Karma Sabhavajam Paricharyatmakam Karma Shudrasyapi Sabhavajam.
Farming, cow protection, and business are the natural work for the Vaishyas. And for the Shudras, there are labor and service to others.
Next. स्वे स्वे कर्मण्यवेरतः संसिद्धिं लभते नरः स्वकर्मनिरतः सिद्धिं यथा विन्दत्तत् शृणु. Now, by following the qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Now, please hear from me. Please hear from me how this is done. So, how one can attain perfection? By performing his niyatam karma. That is how the next verse starts. So Monday will be the last day of our class. So we'll meet on Monday and then finish our course. Hare Krishna. Stop here.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji.